God's chosen ones, God declared a state of emergency for you. Urgent warning to prep chosen one. Listen closely. Heaven has declared a state of emergency over your life. This is not a drill. While the world scrolls mindlessly, you hear the siren from eternity. It shakes your spirit because it is meant for you. In 5 days, your life will shift. Isolation is not rejection, it is preparation. The enemy whispers lies, but God is raising an army inside of you. His angel stands with a sword of light, breaking every shadow that tried to chain your soul. Chosen one, your resurrection is near. The stone is about to be rolled away. Will you be ready when the gates of heaven open? Don't dismiss this moment. This is not fear, it is a divine love letter, written in fire across the sky, calling your name. Chosen one. In a world trembling in chaos, where every headline speaks of war, of crisis, of sickness and loss, you sit there alone in the quiet of your room. You wonder why your prayers seem to echo back in silence, why every door you knock on feels shut, why in the very moment you need him most, it seems as though he has disappeared. But listen carefully, because this word is just for you. The silence you feel is not abandonment, it is protection. You were pulled away from the crowd not because he forgot you, but because he placed you in a secret place where the enemy cannot reach. Just like when a storm rises and the government declares a state of emergency, people are taken into shelter. That is not punishment, it is a shield. In the same way, your isolation right now is his covering. You may feel lonely, but you are not forsaken. You may see your dreams shattered, but they are being planted like seeds in the soil. You may believe this season is an ending, but with him, it is only the beginning of something that has never been before. Chosen one, every tear you have cried has been recorded. Every silent prayer whispered in the dark has been heard. And in the very moment you think he is silent, he is building an invisible wall of protection around your soul. Listen closely, for this is the truth he wants you to keep pressed to your heart. You are not abandoned. You are being protected. And as those words sink deep, a gentle breath will escape your chest, and your heart will soften. Because you will know you are not invisible. You are not forgotten. You are still seen, still held, still loved. And all of this is only preparation for the moment to come, when he will lead you out of the shadows and reveal that you truly are the chosen one. Part 1, 5-day warning, chosen one. Pause and listen, because these words did not find you by accident. This is not just another video, not a message that drifts past your screen. This is heaven's alert, and in this moment, your name is the only one being called. Your heart is beating faster as you hear these lines, and that is not a passing feeling. It is the Holy Spirit knocking at the door of your soul. Hear this clearly, you are given 5 days to prepare, not 5 months, not 5 years, just 5 days, and every second of those 5 days will determine where you stand when the storm breaks. Remember Noah. While the world around him mocked and partied, he kept his head down and lifted his hammer, building the great ark exactly as God instructed. People laughed. They called him crazy. But when the rain began to fall, when the first drops struck the ground, when the cries rose in the streets, that ark became the place of rescue. Noah was given 7 days to prepare. You are given 5. Feel it, the urgency wrapping around your spirit. It is like a midnight siren sounding for your ears alone. Others may scroll past this message without a thought. Friends may smile and call it coincidence, but deep down you know you cannot ignore it. Your heart knows, your soul knows. This is the sign you have been asking for. In these 5 days you must choose. Choose to prepare or to brush it off. Choose to build or to sneer. Choose to trust the call from heaven or let doubt swallow you whole. That choice will reveal where you belong, among those who survive or among those swept away. Remember, God always warns. He warned Noah before the flood. He gave Joseph a dream of 7 years of plenty before 7 years of famine. He sent ravens to bring bread to Elijah before the 40-day journey through the wilderness. He always provides preparation before he provides protection. And today, he sets a timeline for you, 5 days. Do you feel the pressure? Do you notice your breath quicken? That is the urgency of your soul. It is like knowing a storm is headed your way while the sky is still blue. Others look up and say, "There's nothing to fear," but those who are warned in their spirit can sense the shift in the air. That is you. You are chosen to know ahead of time. So what do you do with these 5 days? This is not the hour for delay and not the hour for guesswork. This is the hour for action. Day 1. Begin with stillness. Fast, pray, and listen. Not because God needs your sacrifice, but because your spirit needs clarity. When you silence the noise of the world, His voice will ring clearer than ever. Day 2. Write the vision. Take a notebook. Record every dream, every scripture that rises in your heart, every small whisper of prophecy that glides through your mind. These are not passing sparks. They are holy coordinates, the map that will guide you through the storm. Day 3. Clean house, your room, your heart, the relationships draining your strength. If something is not bringing life, it is stealing life. Let it go. You cannot enter a new season with your hands full of old baggage. Day 4. Turn down the noise. Disconnect from feeds that plant fear, from conversations that drip with poison, from comparisons that exhaust your soul. You need holy quiet to hear heaven's instructions. Day 5. Store up not only food, water, and practical light, but also the Word of God, songs of worship, scriptures etched deep into your heart. When the door closes, there will be no time to go searching for strength. You must carry it within you. Listen closely, chosen one. These are not suggestions. These are heaven's orders. Those who obey will step into the storm not with fear, but with preparation. Do you feel that weight in your chest? Do you feel tears pressed to the surface as you hear this? That is the sign. He is reminding you that even if the whole world doubts, He has chosen you. He is not calling everyone, He is calling you. When Noah drove the final nails, the neighbors were still dancing. When Joseph filled the storehouses, people still laughed. But on the day, in the hour when the rain poured down, when famine spread, only the prepared survived. And today, He asks you, will you be Noah building the ark, or the neighbor who laughs? Will you prepare for 5 days, or will you ignore the call and miss the season of blessing? Chosen one, be awake. Time is short. The clock has struck. Heaven's siren is sounding for you alone. And you must decide now. Part 2. The Survival Manual. Chosen one, after the alarm of heaven has sounded, you cannot just sit and wait. Just as when a doctor declares an emergency, the patient no longer has freedom of choice. They are immediately taken into the emergency room. And that is where you are right now, the spiritual emergency room. Here, every excess is stripped away. Here, there is no noise, no distraction. Here, your soul is laid upon the sacred table where God Himself begins His work. And in this emergency room, He places into your hands a survival manual, 5 steps you must follow if you want to endure and step into your season of blessing. It is not because God requires your hunger, but because your spirit requires clarity. When your stomach is empty, your spiritual ears grow sharper. When you silence your cravings, His voice thunders through your mind. Remember, Jesus fasted 40 days in the wilderness, and there He defeated every temptation of the enemy. Elijah was fed by ravens in the desert, that he might have strength for his 40-day journey to the holy mountain. When you fast and pray, you are not weakening, you are sharpening the sword of your spirit. Choose a window of time within these 5 days to step away from food, from comfort, and pour yourself into prayer. Every hunger pang will whisper, "I need him more than daily bread." Habakkuk 2:2 says, "Write the vision, make it plain on tablets, so he may run who reads it." In these days, God doesn't only want you to survive, he wants to guide you. That guidance will come through dreams, through sudden ideas, through scriptures that come alive before your eyes. If you do not write them down, they will slip away like sand between your fingers. But if you record them, you are sketching a sacred map to carry you through the storm. Take a notebook, write down everything that stirs your heart. Write the promises, the prayers, even the tears. This is no ordinary journal. This is a spiritual GPS, each page a marker pointing you toward the way when darkness surrounds. It is not only your room that needs cleaning, your heart must also be purified. For years you have held on to objects, memories, and relationships that no longer carry life. They are heavy baggage that keeps you from stepping into your new season. Maybe you still keep an old shirt from 1987, a souvenir of a broken love, a letter soaked in bitterness. But God says you cannot carry the fragrance of death into the season of life. Be brave and let go. Clean the closet, break old habits, cut off toxic ties. As you lay down the weight, your soul will grow light-free and ready to embrace the new. This world shouts so loudly we can no longer hear the whisper of God. The news spreads fear. Social media plants comparison and despair. Empty conversations drip poison into the heart. In these 5 days, press the mute button, turn off the TV, close Facebook. Ignore the calls that only drain you. Do not let the noise of the world drown out the voice of heaven. Only in silence will you hear him clearly. And when you do, even one sentence will be enough to guide you through the storm. When the door shuts, there will be no time to go searching for supplies. That is why you must prepare now. Store up what the body needs: water, food, light. But above all, store up for the soul songs of worship, ready to play when you grow weak, scriptures already written down to read. When the night grows dark, prayers already prepared to remind your heart when it trembles. Picture this: when the storm hits, you will not need to scramble for strength. You will open your notebook, lift a song, and instantly your spirit will be fueled by heaven. That is why you are told to store up now. Chosen one. These 5 steps are not a list of suggestions. This is the survival manual heaven has given to you. If you follow them, you will walk through these 5 days not with fear but with preparation. You will not tremble before the storm, you will stand firm. Remember this: a patient does not choose to be in the emergency room. They are placed there because their life is too precious to lose. And today God has placed you in this spiritual emergency room, not to harm you, but to protect you, to prepare you, and to shape you into a living testimony of his deliverance. And when these 5 days are complete, when the door opens again, you will not step out the same. You will not only survive, you will be reborn, equipped, and sent forth. Part 3, the destiny of day 6. Chosen one. 5 days have passed. You have fasted and prayed. You have written down the vision. You have cleansed your heart and your room. You have silenced the noise of the world. You have stored up life. You think you are fully prepared, but listen closely, because what is coming is not what you imagined. Day 6 will shake you to the core. For 5 days, heaven gave you a window of grace. It was like the alarm sounding before the storm, like the stillness before the ground begins to quake. But when the clock strikes day 6, an entirely new chapter begins. And he says, day 6 will shock you. Picture Noah on the 8th day after 7 days of preparation. When the first raindrops fell, the laughter stopped. Those who mocked were suddenly overcome with fear. They ran to the ark, pounded on the door, cried out in desperation. But it was too late. The door had been sealed by God from the inside. The 8th day was disaster for them, but for Noah, it was the dawn of new life. In the same way, your sixth day will not be an ordinary day. It is the day when your preparation is tested, the day when darkness tries once more to shake your faith, the day you realize everything you did in the past 5 days was not only to survive, but to enter into a hidden stage, a sacred cocoon. Day 6 does not arrive with thunder and lightning. It comes clothed in silence, a heavy silence that makes your heart believe God has turned away. Prayer no longer feels sweet. Worship no longer burns with fire. Companions you trusted suddenly disappear. You knock on doors seeking encouragement, but only the echo of emptiness answers back. Do not be afraid. This is not abandonment. This is surgery in his holy emergency room. A patient under anesthesia cannot hear the surgeon's voice, cannot feel the movement of his hands. Yet in that very moment of unconscious stillness, healing is taking place. Day 6 is when you are placed under spiritual anesthesia. You may not feel him. You may not sense anything, and it unsettles you. But he is working harder than ever before. Every butterfly begins as a crawling worm, and before it can take flight, it must crawl into the cocoon, a place dark, narrow, suffocating. To the outside eye, it looks dead, but within the shadows of the cocoon wings are being formed. Chosen one, your sixth day is your cocoon. Others will not understand. They will say, you disappeared. You're not yourself anymore. They will not see you in familiar places, but God will whisper, you are not dying. You are being remade. Inside the cocoon, the caterpillar no longer eats, as before, no longer moves as before. It melts down, completely restructured, and when it emerges, it never crawls again, it soars. So do not fear the darkness. Do not panic at the silence. Do not mistake it for abandonment. In truth, he is rewriting your very structure, preparing you for a new form. This is what makes day 6 frightening. It carries no obvious signs, no thunder on Sinai, no tongues of fire like Pentecost. Only silence, and that silence will test your heart. You will wonder, is he truly here? Were my 5 days of preparation for nothing? You will hear the enemy whisper, you wasted your time, you deceived yourself. God never spoke at all. But remember this, when he is silent, he is working deepest. Like a seed buried in the soil, no one sees movement, yet life is surging inside. Day 6 is the underground. It is the shadow. It is where he tests your heart to see if you trust your feelings or if you trust his word. Listen carefully. Day 6 will shock you. It will unsettle you if you cling to feelings. It will make you want to quit if you see only with your eyes. But if you hold fast to his word, if you recall every vision you wrote, every prayer you prayed, every call he spoke, you will stand firm. Day 6 is not the ending. It is the hidden doorway into the cocoon, and when you step through, you will not remain the same. Chosen one, do you feel the tension rising within you? Your heart pounds, your eyes well with tears, because you know what is coming will test you, but it is within the testing that you will be reborn. Day 6 will shake you, but do not fear. It does not come to destroy you. It comes to hide you in the dark until your wings are ready. And when he opens the cocoon, when resurrection day arrives, the world will stand in awe. They will see you not as the crawling worm you once were, but as a radiant butterfly soaring across the sky. Part 4. The cocoon, the sacred womb. Chosen one. When you step into the 6th day, you may believe you've reached the end. Everything around you grows dark. The ones who once stood by your side are gone. The laughter, the voices, the light, the encouragement, all have faded. You look around and see only the walls of loneliness, and you think you've been abandoned. But the truth is, you have not been forgotten. You have entered a stage few can understand, the season of the cocoon, of the soil of the secret room, where new life is being formed. This is not a grave, it is a sacred womb. This is not the end, it is the preparation for a brighter beginning. Think of a seed. When the farmer plants it into the ground, all people see is death, buried, hidden from the light, covered by dark soil. To the eye, it looks like it has lost its value. But in that hidden darkness, something holy is happening. The shell breaks open, life stirs, tiny roots stretch downward in search of water, and a green sprout quietly pushes upward toward the sun. If the seed is never buried, it remains only a seed. But once buried, it becomes a tree, and one day it produces a harvest. Chosen one. Your loneliness now is the soil embracing your soul like a seed. It is not killing you, it is awakening new life within you. In the same way, a caterpillar will never know how to fly unless it endures the cocoon. On the ground, it crawls slowly, unseen, easily trampled. Then one day, it vanishes. People assume it has died because they no longer see it. But in truth, it is hidden in the cocoon, melting down, being completely restructured. What once existed is undone, but from that undoing wings are formed. And when it emerges, no one can believe it is the same creature. It no longer crawls, it soars. So it is with you, chosen one. This stage may feel like you are dissolving, but in reality, he is weaving wings for your soul. And the greatest mystery of hiddenness, the tomb of Jesus. On the day he was crucified, the world shouted in victory. They thought it was finished. His body was laid in the cold grave, the heavy stone rolled across soldiers guarding the entrance. To them, it was defeat, the death of hope. But within those 3 days in the depths of the earth, a miracle was being prepared. He was not abandoned. He was conquering darkness, breaking the chains of the grave, seizing the keys of death and life. And on the 3rd day, when the stone rolled back and resurrection light burst forth, the earth trembled. He stepped out not as before, but carrying glory and eternal life for all mankind. Do you see it? The seed, the cocoon, the tomb all share the same secret. From the outside, they look like an ending, but truly, they are beginnings. And you, chosen one, are inside such a cocoon. Your isolation is not rejection, it is incubation. His silence is not absence, it is deep work. The darkness around you is not burial, it is gestation. Perhaps right now, the loneliness feels suffocating. You look around and no one remains. The voices that once lifted you are silent. The joys that once carried you are gone. You whisper, "What is wrong with me? Why do conversations feel empty? Why do pleasures no longer satisfy? Why do I feel so hollow?" Chosen one, nothing is wrong with you. In fact, you are more right than ever. This is transformation. The old is falling away to make room for the new. Imagine a child in the womb. For 9 months, it dwells in darkness. No light, no laughter, only shelter. If it could think, it might wonder, why am I locked away? Why does no one hear me? But every day in that darkness, life is growing. The body is being completed. The heart is beating stronger. And when the day of birth arrives, the child emerges whole. So it is with you. You are in the sacred womb of God. You are hidden to be formed. You are isolated to be prepared. So do not fear this silence. Do not think he has turned away. On the contrary, because he loves you, he has pulled you away from the noise, placed you in a secret room to do a work too holy to be distracted, too important to be disturbed. This is between him and you alone. Only his breath surrounding you. And when the process is finished, you will step out with a brand new identity. One day, you will look back on these days, and instead of resenting them, you will give thanks. For without the darkness, you would never know the value of light. Without the silence, you would never know how sweet his voice truly is. Without the cocoon, you would never know how radiant your wings could be. Chosen one, hold this truth: your solitude has meaning. It is not a sentence, it is a blessing. It is not a prison, it is a womb. It is not an ending, it is a beginning. And when you lift your head in the dark, even though you cannot see, believe this: His hands are weaving your new form, shaping every detail, every breath. One day the stone will roll away, the light will flood in, and you will step out not as the one you were, but as a new creation carrying a glory the world has never seen. Be patient, trust him, let the darkness do its work. For when he opens the cocoon, you will not merely survive, you will take flight. Part 5. Identity Rewrite Chosen. 1. When you step out of the cocoon, the very first thing he gives you is not wings to fly. He does something far more important. He calls you by a new name. Because your identity is the foundation of everything. If the foundation is cracked, you cannot fly far, you cannot stand strong, and you cannot hold the blessing he is about to pour out. That is why he must erase every old label the world has placed on you and write across your forehead a new name, a name that reflects how he sees you. For years you have carried false labels. People called you too old, too late, too weary, too much of a failure. You called yourself broken, useless, forgotten. Each of those words became invisible chains, binding your soul, keeping you from dreaming, from stepping forward, from believing in something greater. But today, he steps in and says, "Enough. Those labels do not belong to you. I will give you a new name." Remember Gideon. When the angel appeared to him, he was hiding in the winepress, trembling, threshing grain, in fear of his enemies. He saw himself as small, weak, unworthy. But the angel did not call him a coward. The angel declared, "The Lord is with you, mighty warrior." While Gideon saw weakness, God saw a general rising. Remember Jacob. His name meant deceiver, supplanter. He lived under that label his whole life, scheming, fleeing, weighed down by shame. But one night after wrestling with the angel until daybreak, God gave him a new name, Israel, the one who wrestles with God and prevails. In a single moment, history shifted. Jacob the deceiver became Israel, the father of a holy nation. Remember Saul. He was a persecutor of the church, spreading fear and death. If you met him, then you would have called him the enemy of believers. But on the road to Damascus, when heaven's light broke through, God rewrote his name. Saul became Paul, the apostle of the gospel, the author of much of the New Testament. Who could have imagined such a transformation? Yet God did it because he did not see Saul by his past. He saw him by his eternal purpose. And today, he is doing the same for you. You have carried labels too long that do not belong. Too old, he calls you seasoned, marinated in time until fragrant and strong. Too tired, he calls you battle-tested, a warrior who has endured and emerged unshaken. Too broken, he calls you beautifully surrendered, shaped through pain into a vessel that shines with his glory. You must understand this. How you see yourself is not as important as how he sees you. And when he renames you, all of heaven bears witness. You are no longer defined by failures, mistakes, or the words of others. You are defined by the voice of your Creator. Listen carefully, chosen one. He whispers to you, "You are not abandoned, you are chosen. You are not defeated, you are victorious. You are not too late, you are right on time in my plan. You are not broken, you are a vessel repaired with gold, more precious than when you were whole." Let these words pierce your heart. Let them shatter the chains that bound you for decades. You no longer need to introduce yourself by your past failures. You no longer need to bow under the weight of wasted years. You no longer need to hide your scars. They are not your identity, they are the backdrop for his glory. When you embrace this new name, your eyes will change. You will look into the mirror and no longer see someone weary, old, or defeated. You will see a warrior who has survived every battle and still stands strong. You will see a living testimony of God's faithfulness. And others will see it too. They will look at you and say, "This person is not the same anymore." Because this new identity is more than a name. It is heaven's decree over your life, that you are set apart, anointed, and sent. It will not only change how you see yourself, but how you walk, how you fight, how you live. Chosen one, perhaps all your life, you've heard that you were not enough. But today, he wants you to hear fully and clearly. I see you differently. I see you strong. I see you worthy. And I call you by a new name. Let the tears fall, for they are no longer tears of regret, but tears of release. You are being unchained. Your story is being rewritten. A new name has been placed upon you, and heaven itself has recorded it. And when you step out of the cocoon carrying this new identity, you will no longer walk with your head bowed in shame. You will lift your head high because now you know God sees me differently. And that is all you need to begin an entirely new chapter of your life. Part 6, The Gifts Awaken Chosen One. After he has renamed you, after the old chains have fallen, and you carry a new identity, another holy mystery begins. In the quiet, in the solitude, in the place where people no longer come looking for you, you begin to hear small movements, gentle yet powerful, rising inside your soul. These are your original gifts, the treasures God planted in you before your first cry, stirring after years of being buried. Listen closely, your original gifts are surfacing. For so long you believed you had lost everything. The wisdom that once burned bright in your heart lay covered by the dust of years. The discernment that once cut like a blade grew dull under the noise of the world. The peace that once guarded your soul like a fortress was battered by life's storms. You thought those gifts had died, but the truth is they were sleeping, and now in the stillness they are awakening. Let your memory speak. There was a time you heard the whisper of God so clearly, one small sign, and you knew which way to go. There was a time your counsel carried such grace that people came just to hear a single sentence. There was a time you walked into a room and the atmosphere changed because the peace you carried dissolved the tension. That was not learned skill. That was a heavenly gift. And those gifts were never taken from you. They were only covered by worry, by failure, by long seasons of believing you were no longer useful. But now, with the noise silenced, with you hidden in the cocoon, with your name rewritten, your gifts begin to breathe again. Little by little, they wake like embers fanned into flame. Prophetic insight grows strong within you. The ability to discern what is true and what is false, what is light and what is shadow, sharper than ever. A supernatural peace settles over you so that even when the winds rise, your heart stands steady. Chosen one, do not underestimate what is rising within. It is not only for you, it is for those who need the light you carry. When wisdom awakens, your words can turn the course of a life. When discernment awakens, you will see what others cannot, exposing the enemy's schemes and protecting the weak. When peace awakens, you will become a refuge for anxious souls, like a green field for the weary to rest. This is why he led you through loneliness. Without quiet, you could not hear your gifts knocking again. Without a cocoon, wings would never form. Without separation, what he planted in you from the beginning would remain hidden. And now you are tasting the moment of reactivation. You can feel it. Your heart beats faster as you read these words. Something rises in you. Yes, this is me. This is what I once carried. This is what I still long for. That is not imagination. That is fire rekindling. He whispers, I never took the gifts from you. I waited until you were ready to use them with your new identity. Now receive them, open them, let the fire burn. You no longer have to sit while the past swallows you. You no longer have to live under the lie that your time has expired. These gifts are the original equipment he installed in you, and he does not revoke them. They were covered, now they are being released. Let the tears fall, chosen one. This is the moment you feel the lost keys placed back in your hand. This is the moment you know you were never truly forgotten. Your gifts are rising wisdom, sharpened discernment, strengthened peace beyond understanding, and heavenly strategies that shake the gates of hell. And when you step out of the cocoon carrying restored gifts, the world will look at you and say, "This person is not the same. Something has changed. There is power here, there is light, something beyond the human." You will know it was never self-made. These are the treasures he planted in you from the start, now awakened to fulfill their assignment. Listen well. This is not only about you. It is about those waiting for you. They sit in the dark. They wait for a word, a touch of peace that only your gift can bring. Do not hide it. Do not doubt it. He has reactivated you so you can step out and become the answer this world has been praying for. So, chosen one, take a deep breath and say, "Lord, I receive. Lord, I remember. Lord, I release." For the very moment you agree, the gifts will flow, no longer buried, but poured out for all to see. This is the hour of rebirth. This is the moment the gifts arise. This is the day heaven declares your original gifts are surfacing. Part 7, Sudden Resurrection, Chosen. 1. After the days hidden in the darkness of the cocoon, after the long years of feeling buried beneath heavy soil, you grew used to silence. You grew used to no one speaking your name. You grew used to feeling forgotten. But hear this clearly. He never intended to leave you there forever. The time of hiddenness is complete. Now heaven releases a command that pierces death itself, that breaks despair, that shakes every wall. You will rise suddenly. Look at the seed. It lies in the soil for months, unseen, unnoticed, trampled underfoot. People pass it by, convinced it has no life. But one day, without warning, a green shoot pushes through the hard earth. Not slowly, suddenly, life had always been there, waiting for the moment to burst forth. And so it is with you. You thought you were buried forever, but truly you were waiting for resurrection. And when he speaks, you will rise not gradually, but suddenly, like a miracle shaking the ground around you. Look at Lazarus. 4 days in the tomb, his body decaying. Loved ones weeping, enemies mocking, hope extinguished. Yet Jesus stood before the grave and spoke only one sentence, "Lazarus, come forth." And instantly the dead man rose, still wrapped in burial cloths, but eyes burning with life. That is sudden resurrection. No one dared imagine it. No one expected it. But his power broke every limit. And today, he speaks the same word over you. Rise, my chosen one. Step out of the tomb. Your resurrection is here. Look at the tomb of Jesus. Early on the third morning, while the guards still drowsed, an angel descended. The heavy stone rolled away. Light shattered the darkness. No long ceremony, no announcement. Just one moment, and history changed forever. He stepped out radiant with glory, carrying victory over death. Chosen one, that is your picture. The stone is rolling back. The light is flooding in. And as you step out, you will not be the same. Listen carefully. This is not slow recovery. This is sudden breakthrough. He says, you will rise above poverty. Years of lack, fear of not enough, all broken as heaven's windows open and blessing pours like rain. You will rise above sickness, pain diagnosis, dark predictions overturned as supernatural life flows through your veins. You will rise above depression, the nights of despair, the whispers of hopelessness, silenced as uncontainable joy fills your soul. You will rise above rejection, every slammed door, every scornful glance turned into proof that you are chosen, lifted and placed where no one can deny. You will rise. You will rise. You will rise. Hear that rhythm echo in your heart. It is not only a promise, it is the heartbeat of heaven pulsing with yours. Every breath whispers, rise. Every tear waters the seed of life, preparing to bloom. Every fall plants resurrection in the ashes. And now, the moment has come. Chosen one, you thought resurrection would be gradual, step by step. But he wants you to know it will come suddenly. Today you are in the grave, tomorrow you walk in the sun. Today you are bound in burial cloths, tomorrow you move in freedom. Today your head hangs in shame, tomorrow you stand tall, radiant with light. And when it happens, the world will marvel. Family will not believe it. Neighbors will whisper, something has completely changed. Enemies will fall silent, and even you, staring into the mirror, will ask, who is this looking back at me? Can this truly be me? And yes, it is you, the version God destined before the world began. Let hope rise in your heart. Let light pierce the darkness. This is the climax of the journey, not only the cocoon, not only the renaming, not only the gift's awakening, but the sudden resurrection that launches you into an entirely new realm. He declares, the same Spirit that raised Christ from the dead is quickening you now. The power that rolled the stone, that called Lazarus, that burst the seed into life, that same power is flowing in you. Not tomorrow, today, right now, this very moment. You will rise suddenly. You will rise powerfully. You will rise completely. And when you stand, every scar will become testimony. Every loss will turn into a launching pad. Every night of darkness will make your light blaze brighter. This is not just a return. This is rebirth. This is sudden resurrection, the miracle heaven has waited to reveal through your life. Part 8, the glorious witness chosen. 1. After the days of darkness, after the stone has been rolled away, after you have risen in resurrection power, a new chapter unfolds, and it does not only change you, it changes how the world sees you. For he declares, the person who emerges will be unrecognizable. The one who steps out of the cocoon is not the same as the one who entered. The one who leaves the tomb is not the same as the one who was buried. You will walk this earth as a living testimony, and everyone who once knew you will say, this is not the same person anymore. Picture it. Your family, the ones who saw the weariness in your eyes, who witnessed the nights you cried in silence, who heard the tremble in your voice, will now see light shining from your face. They will no longer see you with head bowed, but with head lifted high. No longer a defeated soul, but a warrior walking in dignity. They will be astonished because the one they thought would never rise is now standing stronger than ever. Your neighbors, the ones who whispered behind your back, who said, it's over for them, there's no hope left, will falter when they meet your gaze. They will sense the difference, something they cannot explain but cannot deny. The very atmosphere around you will shift. Even in silence, your presence will cause them to reflect on themselves. And even you, looking into the mirror, will see what you have never seen before. No more shadows of exhaustion, no more eyes heavy with disappointment, no more trace of the old self. Before you stands one reborn, marked with heaven's imprint. You will look and ask, who is this? Can this really be me? And he will whisper, yes, this is you, the version I designed from the beginning, now revealed. Chosen one, this transformation is not your own doing. It is his work. It is proof that when he lays his hand upon a life, nothing can keep it buried in ashes. And the change will be so clear, no one will be able to deny it. Just as Moses descended from the mountain with a face so radiant the people could not look directly at him. Just as Peter, the one who denied, stood to preach and 3,000 hearts turned in a single day. Just as Paul, the persecutor, became the great apostle. They all carried the same mark, undeniable transformation. He declares, the person who emerges will be unrecognizable. And this unrecognizable is not only outward, it is in the way you speak, the way you think, the way you live. Once you spoke words of doubt, now you speak words of faith. Once you thought small, now you think like an heir of the kingdom. Once you lived as a victim, now you live as a victor. Every part of your life will reflect this change. And one by one, people will become witnesses to the miracle God has worked in you. They will say, I knew the one who was shattered, but now I see wholeness. I knew the one who was hopeless, but now I see hope. I knew the one who was weak, but now I see strength. And through your very life, you will become a glorious witness, a living testimony that God still moves, still resurrects, still transforms. This is not only about you, it is about all who are watching you. When they see your change, they will believe change is possible for them. When they see light on your face, they will hunger for that light in their own lives. When they hear your words, they will recognize the voice of heaven echoing through you, chosen. One, remember, he did not call you out of darkness just to live quietly. He called you out to reflect his glory. He set you apart to prove to the world, whoever puts their trust in me will not be put to shame. So do not be surprised when eyes fix on you. Do not be surprised when people ask what happened to you. Do not be surprised when family, friends, even enemies must admit the transformation is too great to explain by natural means. For that is his intention, that you would stand as a living witness, a walking declaration that he is real, he is powerful, he is alive. Let holy pride rise in your heart, not pride in yourself, but joy in knowing he chose me, he transformed me, and now he uses me. Let the tears flow not of regret, but of gratitude, for this is the day you are confirmed, not by empty applause of men, but by heaven's undeniable seal upon your life. Chosen one, breathe deeply, lift your head high, for the one stepping out of the darkness, out of the cocoon, out of the grave, that one is not who they used to be. That one is the glorious witness. That one is you. And you will never again be mistaken for your old self. Part 9, Confirmation and Community, chosen. After the long journey in the dark, after the renaming, after the gifts within you have awakened, and after resurrection power has pulled you from the grave, you may feel that transformation has already gone to the deepest roots. But there is still one vital truth he wants you to grasp. You were never called to walk alone. During the season of hiddenness, he isolated you. He pulled you away from the noise. He placed you in the cocoon for transformation. But that stage was never meant to keep you forever alone. It was only to prepare you so that when you emerged, you would discover your true family, a community of chosen ones like you. This is the moment he ushers you into a greater embrace, a spiritual family waiting to welcome you. Listen carefully. The tears you cried you thought no one saw, but there are brothers and sisters who cried the very same tears. The prayers you whispered in the night you thought no one heard, but there are hearts that prayed the very same words. You thought you were alone, but the truth is, you just hadn't met your spiritual family yet. This is heaven's invitation. Step into the community. Rise into the family. You are not alone. And right now, in this moment, you can confirm you've heard the call. He sets before you a simple act with the weight of declaration. Write it. Let your hands bear witness to your faith. Comment 707, a sign you've heard heaven's alarm. Comment 99, your confirmation that you are stepping into the emergency room for preparation. Comment rise, your declaration that you believe in sudden resurrection, that you refuse to remain in the grave. These are not just numbers, not just words, they are covenant. When you type them, heaven records it. When you make it public, darkness trembles. For the enemy wants you silent, wants your faith hidden. But when you declare it openly, you break the chains and proclaim, I belong to the community of the chosen. And more than that, he calls you to be a trumpet for others. If this word, if this prophecy has pierced your soul, do not keep it to yourself. There is someone in your family, in your church, in your neighborhood who desperately needs this word to survive. Share before it's too late. Send it to the one still sitting in darkness. Sow this seed of hope into a heart on the edge of withering. For you may never know your simple act of sharing could save a soul from despair. Chosen one spiritual family is not an idea, it is a reality forming right now. When you write 777, when you write 99, when you write rise, you are connecting with thousands, tens of thousands, doing the same. Each word is a brick, and together we are building a fortress. This is not just a YouTube channel, not just a video. It is a global house of prayer where every soul has a place where no one is left behind. And He wants you to know, when you feel weak, this community will lift you. When you fall, someone will reach for your hand. When you rejoice, voices will shout with you. When you weep, others will weep beside you. This was His design from the very beginning, that we never walk alone but together, as one body carrying light into the world. Let the emotion flood your heart. You once thought you were abandoned, but now you know you belong to a greater family. You once thought you were alone on this path, but now you know thousands of voices are praying with you, fighting with you, rising with you. So now act. Do not only listen, confirm, comment, share, step into the community. This is not a momentary reaction. It is the proclamation of your life. I am chosen. I am rising. I belong to the family of God. Chosen one, believe this with all certainty. You are no longer alone. You are part of a spiritual family, part of a community heaven itself has established. And as you step in, you will see loneliness fades, wounds are healed, prayers are amplified. For when one prays, thousands are moved. But when the community prays, the world is transformed. This is the moment. This is the invitation. This is the family you've been waiting for. Step in, comment, share, rise, and know heaven rejoices as you find your community. You are not forgotten. You are chosen, chosen one. Pause for a moment. Take a deep breath. Let your heart, after all the warnings, all the calls, all the alarms, rest in a gentle stillness. Let your soul hear His voice, not in thunder, but in a tender whisper. And His word for you is this: you are not forgotten, you are chosen. Light is breaking through the darkness. The flame of hope is stirring again in your heart. Every wound, every lonely night, every unanswered question is now in His hands. He wants you to know that what you've walked through was never the end, never the death of your dream, never proof of abandonment. It was all preparation, a sacred womb, a protective cocoon, a hidden soil waiting for the day of radiant resurrection. Listen closely. You are not an accident. You are not a mistake. You are not a nameless shadow lost in the crowd. Before the foundation of the world, He wrote your name into His plan. Before your first cry, He prepared your resurrection smile. And even now, as you sit here, He whispers again, you are not forgotten, you are chosen. So let the tears fall, not tears of despair, but tears of peace. Not tears of fear, but tears of comfort. This is the moment your heart is healed. Your soul finds rest, and your spirit knows, with certainty, God has never turned away, never abandoned you, never stopped loving you. And when you have heard, when you have believed, when you have received, let your action become a declaration. Right now, type a single word, Amen. Let heaven see your agreement. Let the community read your faith, and don't stop there. Subscribe to keep the flame alive. Share this message with someone else, for they may be the chosen one, waiting for confirmation to keep going. Chosen one, this is not your ending. This is your beginning. What you endured was not to bury you, but to prepare you. Isolation was not rejection, it was incubation. Darkness was not defeat, it was the birthplace of new life. And now, as light breaks forth, step forward with peace in your heart, hope in your eyes and hands, ready to seize your new destiny. Etch this truth deep into your soul. You are not forgotten. You are chosen.